Every year, millions upon millions of people turn their eyes to the heart of Mecca, to that iconic black cube, the Kaaba. It's this incredible symbol of unity and faith, and it's always draped in this magnificent embroidered cloth. But behind that powerful image, there's a whole story of artistry, tradition, and just immense reverence. And it all really starts with one simple question.
So how do you do it? The question seems simple enough, right? But the answer? Well, that's a year-long process, steeped in centuries of history. And it all culminates in this single, sacred event that blends the most meticulous craftsmanship with just profound spiritual meaning.
The answer is a ceremony known as the changing of the Kiswa. This is that precise moment when the Kaaba is adorned with its new covering. It's a beautiful act that perfectly merges incredible craftsmanship with really deep spiritual significance.
So let's dive right in with the ceremony itself. This annual ritual is really the grand finale of a whole year of dedicated work. And what's super interesting is that this ancient tradition has actually just recently gone through a pretty big change.
See, for years and years, the Kiswa was changed on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah. That's the day of Arafat, right during the Hajj pilgrimage. But not long ago, they moved the ceremony to the 1st of Muharram, which is the start of the new Islamic year. And this was a really strategic change because now so many more pilgrims and visitors can actually witness this incredible process for themselves.
Okay, so we've seen when it's changed, but what exactly is the Kiswa? I mean, it is so much more than just a piece of cloth. It's a masterpiece of dedication, precious materials, and frankly, staggering scale.
Let's talk money first. The cost is estimated to be around 20 to 25 million Saudi riyals. But here's the fascinating part. That's not a fixed price. It actually goes up and down with the global market price of gold, which, as you're about to see, is a huge part of its creation.
And yeah, here it is. We are talking about a staggering 120 kilograms of pure gold. That's what's used to plate the threads for that intricate embroidery of Quranic verses you see all over the cloth. Just incredible. So when all those components are brought together, the final Kiswa weighs in at a colossal 1,300 kilograms. That's 1.3 metric tons. It takes a whole specialized team just to handle and drape this immense covering over the Kaaba.
So what makes up all that weight? Well, the foundation is pure silk thread, and it's sourced from Italy. It's considered the absolute finest in the world. Then you add that 120 kilograms of gold and 100 grams of silver for all the detailed embroidery. And it's all supported by this robust cotton lining on the inside.
To really understand how all these materials come together, we need to go behind the scenes, inside the dedicated Kiswa factory in Makkah. This is where that year-long process of creation kicks off.
The whole thing starts with some serious industrial precision. First, those Italian silk threads are dyed a deep, rich black. Then, they're spooled up and fed into these massive automated looms that weave the plain black base cloth. And then finally, the sacred calligraphy is printed onto the fabric, not as the final design, but as a perfect guide for the artisans to follow.
Now here's a cool detail you would never see from the outside. Beneath all that precious silk is a hidden layer, an entire lining of cotton fabric. And it does two really important jobs. First, it helps that heavy cloth grip the smooth stone walls of the Kaaba, and second, it protects the silk from getting worn down, making sure it lasts the entire year.
All right, so once the base cloth is woven and printed, the factory kind of shifts gears. It moves from that big industrial scale to intricate, delicate human artistry. This is where the calligraphy really comes to life, through the painstaking process of embroidery.
So you know those golden verses you see? They're not actually made from solid gold thread. Nope. It's an even more intricate process. The artisans start with a core of pure silver thread. Then, that silver thread is meticulously wrapped and plated with fine gold. That's what creates that brilliant, durable thread they use for the embroidery.
And this embroidery has these specific, beautiful elements. Take the kindil, for example. These are these lamp-like designs that hang just beneath the hizam, which is the main belt of the Kiswa. They're adorned with phrases that praise God, like Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, which means, O ever-living, O self-sustained.
Another key feature you'll see are the asamadiyat. These are large, circular panels embroidered with Surah Al-Ikhlas, a chapter from the Quran all about the oneness of God. There's a panel placed on each of the Kaaba's four corners, and it just beautifully integrates the sacred text with the building's own structure.
You know, behind all of this incredible art, there's a really personal legacy. The unique, flowing script that's used for the calligraphy, it was designed by a man named Sheikh Abdulrahim Amin. And our source for this explainer notes this really poignant detail. The Sheikh never had any children of his own, but through his timeless work, his name is remembered in the prayers of millions all across the globe.
So after an entire year of adorning the Kaaba, the service of the Kiswa comes to an end. But its story is far, far from over. And this leads to one of the most common questions people have about this sacred cloth.
Yeah? So what happens next? After it's so carefully taken down, the old Kiswa isn't just discarded. No way. Its journey continues as an object of immense reverence.
So the old Kiswa is meticulously cut into pieces. A lot of these sections are actually gifted to Muslim countries, to different organizations, and to visiting dignitaries as a huge symbol of honor. Smaller, certified pieces are also made available to the public as these treasured relics, and the proceeds from their sale are invested back into good deeds.
And believe it or not, it's even possible for the public to own a piece of this sacred history. There's a store inside the Museum of the Prophet's biography, which is located in Makkah's iconic clock tower, and it sells certified fragments. It's a way to create this direct, personal connection to the legacy of the Kaaba.
And that really brings us right back to the core of it all. Why go to such incredible lengths? This quote from our source material really says it best. At its heart, the Kiswa is an expression. It's an expression of respect, of greatness, and of profound love for the most sacred site in Islam. It's not just a covering, it's a symbol of devotion, woven with gold, silk, and a whole year of dedication.